Hello everyone. I hope you all are doing well. Thank you for joining us today. So, let's begin our session with a wonderful quote. Mastering the art of impactful presentation is like conducting a masterpiece. Blend clarity, creativity, and conviction to leave your audience in awe. Good evening, everyone. I, Pratiksha, being your host for today's international webinar on the topic Slide Maestro. Mastering the Art of Impactful Presentations extends my warm greetings and a very good evening to all of you present here. Mastering the art of impactful presentations is a journey where each slide is a brush stroke on the canvas of influence. Transform your presentation into a symphony of ideas, orchestrating a narrative that captivates minds and sparks inspiration. Become the maestro of your slides, crafting a melody of clarity, creativity, and conviction. Elevate each presentation to a performance, leaving an indelible imprint on your audience. The true slide maestro understands the power of every slide in creating an unforgettable impact. Talking about SEMS Welfare Foundation, we are a Section 8 not for profit company registered under the Companies Act 2013 with various recognitions from NITI Aayog, MSME, MPCon, DDUGKY, and more. Recognized as a startup by DIPP, MCI, and awarded Best Service Award for National Contribution. SEMS Group, with an active network of 5,000 plus professionals, published books, and an international journal, organized education and health camps for underprivileged children, prompted digital and financial literacy, and contributed to society. Our initiative, DG Saksham, has developed content for 300 plus courses in IT, BFSI, retail, entrepreneurship, impacting diverse age groups. We have executed a skilling project for 600 inmates, signed MOUs for training, collaborated with various organizations, and conducted international conferences. FemLeads, another SIMS initiative, empowers women through workshops and newsletters, conducting awareness program in digital literacy, marketing, and career development across different industries. We have impacted over 1,000 women across the states and recently celebrated a milestone of 100 women associated with the program. On behalf of whole SEMS family, I welcome you all for today's international webinar on Slide Maestro, Mastering the Art of Impactful Presentations. And to add our guest of honor and today's speaker, Miss Matangi Iyer. It is a great honor to have you with us, ma'am. We are grateful for your presence here with us today.
Thank you, thank you.
Now,
Thank you very much, Prakash.
yeah, thank you, ma'am. Now, let me introduce today's speaker to you all. Miss Matangi Iyer is a 30-year-old graduate of Bachelor's in Financial Market hailing from Mumbai. Mumbai, where the honks of the cars stuck in the traffic is music, where the vada pav is a staple food, where in crowded local train someone randomly smiles at you and you smile right back at them, making your day and theirs, where no one went to sleep hungry. Writing has been her hobby from eternity. It gives her peace. She has learned that the focus should not be on where you have been, but on where you are going, and more importantly, where you want to go. She has been a dreamer all her life. She has always wanted to show the readers the world that she created where the characters were her best friends. At the age of 14, her poem, My Little Sister, got published for the first time in the children's edition of a local newspaper. Matangi is now a full time English teacher turned keynote speaking coach. She is on a mission to help 2 lakh first time speakers who are entrepreneurs or top executives struggling with lack of confidence, stage fear, vocabulary problem, feelings of self rejection, and other issues related. to public speaking. She has been giving lectures in schools and colleges, even as a college student. She has been giving seminars on common mistakes made in conversational grammar, how to build confidence, and other topics of the like. Now, over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Pratiksha. That was really wonderful, and you speak really well. So, like she already said, I'm Mathangi, and so this is what I do for a living. I'm a teacher. My qualifications are I'm MCom and BEd. I have experience with 10 years of teaching children of grade 6 to grade 10, and I have authored up to three novels and one collection of poems as of now. I am in the process of writing another book. So that is about me. And at any point, if you feel like I am not audible to you, or if you can't hear me, please let me know. I'll accordingly try to make changes. So without wasting any more time, let's move on. So today, what we are going to do is we are going to talk about certain things. Now, this will look like a lot, but it isn't. So don't worry. So first what we'll be doing today is first daily affirmations. Second, we'll learn the importance of impactful presentation. Third, we'll understand why and how you understand your audience. The fourth is clarity in message. Fifth is power of visuals. Sixth is slide design. Seventh is storytelling techniques. And then we end it with the rule of three. Finally, we conclude the session. Okay. So here, I would, so moving on to the daily affirmations. So ideally, daily affirmations, you must have seen, people doing this in many webinars. Whoever goes for a webinar, they do this. They, sort of always have this. So it is not a fashion. This helps. This actually helps. Now, this I am talking to people who are actually scared of talking in front of others, or scared to put their point of view, or even scared to speak in front of others. I have also been like that, and I have come out of it because of daily affirmations. Please accept for a second. So I have also come out of it through daily affirmations, through telling my mind that it is okay to fail, but it is not okay to not try. So you should keep trying, right? Keep trying new things, keep trying things that scare you. So once you do that, you are not scared of it anymore. So I realized that very late in life. So that is why I am here to tell you all to go ahead with what you are most scared of. So our first affirmation today would be, I want you to say it. I understand that you are not allowed to unmute for the sake of discipline, but please say it after me and read it. And if you want, you can take a screenshot also. So your first affirmation every day should be, I speak confidently to me, which means in the mirror. So I speak confidently to me and to others. So that will be your first affirmation. That is, you speak confidently. Whatever you say, you speak confidently. Your second affirmation, because we are doing a session on presentations, is my presentations make a lasting impact on my audience. And the final affirmation would be, I embrace, that is, I accept continuous improvement in my presentation skills. And as a teacher, I will also tell you, please pay attention to the whole presentation, because at the end, you will definitely ask me question, but I will be the first to ask you questions. So please be ready with that. Now, moving on to the first thing. So I want any one of you all to unmute and tell me. Okay, I will let you know when to unmute. I'm sorry about that. Yeah. Yes, I want any one of you to unmute and tell me. Read the first and the second message and tell me which is the better one. Where do you understand what you're supposed to say?
Hi all, I kindly request you to join the webinar on public speaking on 3rd Jan 2024 via the Zoom link given below. Second is, hi all, I kindly request you to join the webinar on public speaking.
Yeah. So which one is better? Like, where do you understand what the sender wants to say?
Serial one.
The
Yeah.
first, right?
Serial
First
one.
one.
Yes, yes. So it is the first message because it is quite specific. Of course, the timing is missing, but then it is quite specific as compared to the second one. It is quite clear that what is the webinar on and what date it is going to be and where it is going to be. So it is quite specific. So that is what we come to the first topic of our session today, which is clarity in message. So any presentation that you do, any, like for example, Pratiksha, how she introduced me and how she introduced the session, how she spoke about SEMS. She was very specific about it, right? So there was no confusion in the head that this is what, oh, maybe she's trying to say this. No, there is no confusion as such. This is what the session is about, and this is what Miss Mathangi is going to say, right? So there has to be clarity in message. Now, so let's go to the theory part. First is you ensure that your message is clear and easily understood by the audience. Okay. Now, when you ensure your message is clear and is easily understood by the audience, what do you mean by that? What I mean by that is the language. Language need not necessarily be English. It can be any language. You have to first understand your audience. We will go to that also in the next slide. But you have to first understand the audience. You have to understand what language they understand. Now, if you are going to speak in English and the audience is French, then there is going to be a big communication gap, right? So you have to understand the audience first, yeah, and then next one, what do? You adjust your message to meet their expectation, correct? Now, because I am talking to students, my excuse me, my presentation will be different. Now, if I am talking about the same topic to 10th standard students, my presentation is going to be different. When I'm talking to a group of professionals, my presentation is going to be completely different. Okay. So this is what you have to understand, that you understand the audience. Our next message is also the same only. Next slide is almost the same. It is connected to this, that you have to understand the expectations and accordingly give your message. Only then it will reach the correct audience. Enhance your message with impactful visuals that complement and reinforce your spoken words. So whatever I am saying, are you able to read that on screen? Have I put in, am I being clear with what I am saying? Anybody can answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So am I being at par with what is on your screen, or am I confusing you?
Not confusing, ma'am.
Yes, exactly. So that is your third point, which is you have to be very impactful with your visuals. That is what you show to your audience and what you speak about, right? So visuals will also mean your images. It can mean statistics. Statistics is numbers, data that you give. That so many % of people eat Maggie every day. 90% of people eat Maggie every day. Or 20% of people, suffer from headaches every day. So that is your data that you are showing as visuals. Now, what I'm showing is my screen as visual, right? Then we come to why do we need impactful presentation? Why do we need impactful presentation? Let's see. Impactful presentations capture and maintain the audience's attention, first of all. Okay. Now, impact, what is your idea? Anybody can answer again. What is your idea of an impactful presentation? What do you understand by that? Anyone?
We will be getting better idea about that presentation, madam.
Yeah. So impactful presentation basically is, okay. So is there any ad that has been stuck in your head for a long time? For me, it is usually the ads when we were small. We used to have ads from Fevicol. There used to be a truck. There were many people who were stuck to the truck, and the truck was slowly moving. And then finally, when somebody got down and they took out that Fevicol can, everybody fell off the truck. So the idea is Fevicol is so strong that it puts everybody it brings everybody together. So that is so impactful. I saw that ad 20 years ago and I still remember it as it is, right? Now, advertisements, not just your slides, advertisements, your slides, the way you speak, everything is a presentation. The way you, stand in front of people. Like, I am moving my hands, right? I am moving my hands. My voice tone is changing I am not having a monotonous tone. I am not being in the same tone. I am changing my tone when it is required. I am moving my hands, but not unnecessarily, right? So all these things are included in impactful presentation. Okay. So people have their ways. For example, my way is every time I end a sentence, I say, okay, okay. So that is one thing that you probably might remember of me even after a few days. So there are some characteristics that you remember of a presentation, and that is what makes the presentation impactful. So you capture the audience's attention. Second is retention. So how do people remember what you said? Do people remember what you said? Do people remember what you are trying to the message that you're trying to put through? And this is very important. This becomes very important in case of your jobs, where you have to give presentations to your clients or to your bosses. The same presentation can be given in two ways by two people. So it is very important for you to have that one unique characteristic so that you can do better in life. Yeah. See, the last one is that only, that you have to have the power to influence decision making. Excuse me. So there is a movie, black and white movie that came out in 1959. I am forgetting the name. I think it is called 12 Angry Men. So it is based out, the movie is completely based out on one room. Okay. And there are 12 people. If for those who do not know, in the US, the judgment is passed after, consulting with the jury, and the jury is usually of 12 people. Now here, one person has been convicted with murder, and out of the 12 jury members, one jury member thinks that the convict is not a murderer, and the 11 others think that he is the murderer based on the evidence. Okay. So the whole movie is about how that one person, one jury member who did not think that the person was a murderer, convinces all the other 11 members that that person is not the murderer. So he, with his words, with his presentation, even over there, has influenced the rest of the 11 jury members, influenced their decision of making that person the convict, the murderer, while he was not, or he probably was, and he got he got bailed out, right? So that is what impactful presentations do. They even save lives in this case. Next, what we will go to is understanding our audience. So like I said, clarity in message is directly connected to understanding your audience. Successful presentations start with a deep understanding of your audience. Now, I hope here I have understood my audience, and I am, doing my presentation accordingly. I hope to assume that. And conduct a thorough audience analysis to tailor your presentation. Okay. Like, for example, this topic that I'm doing right now, Slide Maestro, Mastering the Art of Presentations, right? This, like I also told you before, I can give this presentation to you differently. I can give this presentation to a group of corporate people differently. I can give this presentation to a group of 10th standard children differently. So my presentation, the same presentation will be tailored, will be customized according to my audience. Finally, tailoring content to audience expectations significantly enhances the impact. So again, impact is again connected to this, connected to understanding your audience. Okay. I hope somebody is admitting everybody. Or do I?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Next is the power of visuals. So what is your understanding? I already gave a small hint in the previous slide. So what is your understanding of visuals? Anyone? I see 28 or 29 people here, which is 30. So, which is a great deal. So somebody has to answer. What is your understanding of visuals in slides?
Visuals are the most important thing in the slide, because like it is the key for the presentation. Like when we are presenting, or we are we are giving a presentation, so visuals are the most important thing in terms of attractiveness. And yeah.
Okay. So visuals. So I'll ask this question again. Your understanding is completely fine. By visuals, do you just think that it is the images that we use, or is it also other things?
Ma'am, it can be anything like a graph or a chart or anything with an image.
Right, correct. So anything that helps support your presentation. For example, in today's presentation, you might not have seen many images, but still, whatever are my slides, whatever content is there in my slides are my visuals. Whatever I want to show you is there on the slide, right? So those are my visuals. These will, help you remember the important key points. And if you see in the slides, it is going to be this almost the same points, but from different points of view. Same points from different points of view. Okay. So the first one is visuals improve the audience's ability to comprehend and retain information. So they connect. For example, power of visuals. I have put an image of, a scenery with trees and rainbow. So eventually, maybe somebody, one of you, might connect visuals to, okay, that day Miss Mathangi had put a rainbow picture there. So that was the slide that she spoke about, right? So that is where you link stuff. Okay, you link things. Then the second point is visual elements capture and maintain audience attention throughout the presentation. So like what I said, nowadays in PowerPoints, there are many things that you do with the slide itself. With the slide itself, you do many things, which I will talk about in slide design. Then the third thing is visuals have the power to persuade and leave a lasting impact on the audience. How you are presenting this PowerPoint, how you are presenting these slides. Now, this particular font is different. I have not seen these fonts anywhere else. This particular font, I have not seen anywhere else, or I have not seen it being commonly used, right? So when people talk about my presentation, they will probably speak about the font that is used, which was different and which was visible, which was legible, right? Visuals have the power to persuade and leave a lasting impact on the audience. So the final, the final thing about any presentation is for the presenter to convince the audience that what they're saying is true. Yes, like I said, slide design. Okay. So what happens with slide design is you have to understand too much of something is also not good on a particular slide. Just because we want to make a slide look good, we will not put too many things. Okay. And in opposition to that, we will also not make it too simple. We will not make the slides too simple that it becomes completely unattractive. So we have to have a balance between the two in case of slide design. But how can you make it unique? Now, for example, you want to show data. You want to show statistics. So you want to show pie chart. Now, there are different ways of showing it. You can either show it through smart art in PowerPoint, or you can show it through pizza slices. Yes, that is also a way. Or you can show it through donut pie charts. Okay, that is also another way. Okay, now there are also ways where you can show it through CD discs. Okay, so there are different ways of doing it. It is only, there is no limit to your creativity. Whatever you think can come true. Now, for example, this donut pie or this, I mean, the donut pie chart or this pizza pie chart, all of this, somebody thought of and used it and posted it on, Google or their website, where now it is easily accessible to us. So we can also think of different stuff that can be our unique point. Now, these people who made these things have made this and have sold this to people, out of which they are making money just because of that one small thing, because that is their unique thing, which they do not or they have not shared with anybody, right? So effective slide design follows principles such as simplicity, consistency, and clarity. Okay. Now somebody has to again, so I know it could be boring that you have to unmute and speak, but somebody has to answer this. Till now, have my slides been very complex or have they been simple?
They have been very simple.
Complex, ma'am.
It is
Complex?
like it is way attractive, I would say.
It is attractive. Okay. It is
Simple and
complex,
elegant.
slightly complex or not? How is it? Or not simple? Simple or not simple?
It was simple.
Right. Was there consistency? Was there a regularity in my slide till now?
Yes, ma'am. Regularity is
Yes,
there.
ma'am.
And till now, whatever I have spoken, the points that I've spoken, were they clear or anywhere you found confusion or you found yourself confused?
You were really clear.
It was really clear. So until now, I have followed these three principles, which is simplicity, consistency, and clarity. Yes. So that is what happens. Now, like I said, now layout? Look at the layout. Okay. Look at my this particular slide also. If you look, is there too many things that I have put on the slide? Too many pictures, too many effects, sounds have I
No,
put? No.
no,
So
ma'am.
so the effects also, the animations are also very basic, very simple.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
formatting. So one below the other in proper format. It is pleasing to the eyes,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
So that is a third thing again, consistency in design elements. Like I said, we like to see consistency. Even when we open a book, we like to see that everything is in margin. When we used to be in school and we used to write question answers, we used to start from the margin and end there. Even in answer books, in during exams, we used to draw margins on both sides and then write only between those two margins. Why we did that was because the teacher would like it, because it would become neater. And the second is, for us also, we feel nice that okay, we are doing something with our papers, right? So consistency in the paper. Now sometimes, like I told you, I have a 10-year teaching experience. So whenever what now has happened is, whenever I pick up a notebook or an answer book, that is answer sheet, without seeing the name, I come to know who has written it, or whose paper it is, or whose notebook it is, because of their style, because of their consistency. So everybody has a style or consistency. Like everybody cannot be Shah Rukh Khan, but everybody has their own style. So you have to be excuse me, you have to be consistent with your own style. You have to be true to your own style. That is the key over here. Otherwise, it is too much effort. If you want to look like somebody, if you want to do things like somebody, it is too much effort. Next, my favorite part, we go on to the storytelling techniques. Okay, storytelling is throughout the presentation up till now, you saw me or you heard me bringing up different incidents from my life. Yes. So I have throughout the presentation up till now, I have brought up different incidents from my life. So I am telling you stories from my life so that you feel relatable. For example, when I said when I was small, the most impactful advertisement that I saw and I still remember after so many years is the Fevicol ad. Now that Fevicol ad, many must have seen of my age. I don't know your age group range, so I can't say anything about that. But people of my age must have definitely at some point, at least once, seen that ad and will relate to that. Okay. So storytelling techniques are techniques are different, but then what they come to is the same thing, which is you are trying to convince or create an impact on somebody else, right? A compelling narrative captivates the audience's attention and makes your presentation memorable. Effective storytelling involves creating tension and offering resolutions. Now, if you see, there was recently an ad of a product where a child was calling everybody, irrespective of a man or a woman, beautiful. Every person was, when they did something nice, they were called beautiful. So there the message was that everybody is beautiful inside out, and then the product name was put up, right? So that is effective. So that is your what to say? That is your go-to thing. Stories are the go-to thing. They have been going on for ages. Ages they've been going on for. Personal stories and authenticity is the reality, the truthfulness of that thing, of the product. That is why you will see many people who are doing businesses, any business, coaching business, service industry, product, they're doing business of any product. You will see them first displaying their reviews in their ad, the reviews of their products or of their services in the ad, because those become personal stories. So in the similar manner, when you are presenting, you have to give out personal stories. Now here I will tell you a small secret. There will be many situations where you may not have faced that situation or that particular problem in real life, but to convince the audience, you have to put up some story that you pick up from real life but build it into an imaginative thing, right? So sometimes you have to do that also. Now the rule of three. Okay, from the name you would have identified But I want to ask, what is that one common thing you saw in all of my slides? We are almost coming towards the end, so don't worry. What is the one common thing that you saw throughout my slides? Sorry? You're not audible. If someone is trying to answer, they're not audible.
Please, whoever wants to answer, please unmute yourself, no? Because ma'am is not, ma'am says you're not audible, or just type in the chat box.
What is that one consistent thing that you saw throughout my slide?
I have seen the font. I
Uh-huh.
think that is the same thing. Font.
Okay, font. What else?
The design of all these slides.
Design of the slides. And one last thing. All slides had how many points?
I think 3 points.
Yes, 3 points. Except for the content slide, each of the other slides had only 3 points. Because 3 is a magic number.
Yeah.
People tend to remember 3s. So you will see even in YouTube videos, 3 things that will help you sleep better. 3 things that will help you speak confidently in class or in college and in office, wherever. So the rule of 3 is that on a slide, there should not be more than 3 points. Okay. It is a powerful rhetorical technique suggesting that information is more effectively conveyed when presented in 3s. Yes. Next, applying the rule of 3 involves organizing content in a way that enhances comprehension and retention. It has to be in order, and it is helpful if it is in 3s or any odd number for that matter. Now we have a slide and we cannot put in 7 points. It will not look nice. Okay, that is why we take the number 3. Otherwise, we can put 7 also. The next is 7. 5 is also very common. 3, 7, 13, right? 17. These are very common points. Common numbers rather. Uncommonly common numbers, which are used here. So rule of 3 specifically because the slide will not look good if you put more than, if you go for 7 then. After 3, the next is 7. The slide won't look good. That is why we stick to 3. The rule of 3 is versatile and applicable in various aspects of presentation, which I showed you now in real life. Each topic, each slide that was there had how many points? Only 3 points. Yes. Now we come to the conclusion of this session because I understand, we started late. Be clear in what you want to say. So it is more about the speaking. Yes, the slide design is important. It has to match. The visuals have to match with what you're saying. Okay, all of that is definitely there. But apart from that, what you are saying has to be very clear. So even today, I will tell if anything that is unclear to you, please let me know. I can definitely clarify. I have the patience of a teacher. So like the generic dialogue that every teacher says, how many ever times you want, you can ask. But here I'm being genuine about it. Okay. You can ask how many ever times you want, and I will definitely clarify that. Mastering presentations goes beyond individual elements. It involves a holistic approach. So just like I said, your visuals have to be on point. Your slides have to be on point. The content on the slides have to be on point. And you, when you're speaking, also have to be on point. So it is a holistic thing. These 4 aspects have to come together and form one project, one presentation. Prioritizing the audience is at the heart of impactful presentations. So there are 2 things here, 2 aspects to this. One, you do a presentation where you feel that this is going to be right or this is the correct way of doing it. 2, like we discussed earlier, you understand what the audience wants. That is how films also work, right? Film is also another way of presentation. So films also work in that manner, right? So films that people like. For example, we have an image in our head about stars like Salman Khan, Shah Rukh Khan, etc. So when they go out of their way, or even Rajnikant for that matter, right? When they go out of their way and do something different, it is not accepted by the people. Correct? Because till then they were doing what the audience wanted them to do. Once in a while, when they are doing something different, it is not accepted by the people because that is not what the audience wanted them. Correct? So it is what the audience wants always. And becoming a slide maestro is a journey of continuous growth and application. So don't worry. It is not that one fine day you wake up to become a good presenter. I am also still learning. I will not say that I am a very good presenter. I, but even to come to this point, I have come a long way, period of 10 to 15 years. So don't worry about it at all. It is a process and it is a journey that you should enjoy. Now we can move on to the question and answers if you all have any.
Yes, ma'am, we have some questions and answers. So, firstly, I would highlight all the points, then, after, I will ask the question and answer that
Sure.
audience have asked.
Yeah.
Is it okay, ma'am?
Yeah, sure, definitely.
So, ma'am, this was a very wonderful knowledge that was given by you, and I hope our audience learned many new things from this session. I would like to highlight some of the points like crafting a compelling narrative that engages your audience and conveys your message effectively. Hone your verbal and non-verbal communication skill to deliver a clear and convincing presentation. Keep slides concise, avoiding clutter, and focus on key points to maintain audience attention. Capture attention from the start and leave a lasting impression with powerful opening and closing. So, ma'am, we have some questions that our audience wants to know. So, with your permission, shall we proceed?
Sure, definitely.
So, ma'am, the first question is what strategies do you employ to create a compelling and memorable story in your presentations?
Okay, so the thing here is in story you have to see a few things. Okay, it is like you watching or reading a suspense thriller. Okay, there is always a starting. You have to give a setting. Now, for example, when I speak about Mumbai, I was born and brought up in Mumbai. I cannot assume that everybody here will know what Mumbai is, or I cannot assume that they have stayed in that part of Mumbai where I have stayed. Correct? Because my point of view and the audience's point of view will be different. So here comes the clarity in message. I will clearly set up that this is what happens. There are local trains. There was a 99 local train. It was called the Lady Special, where all the 12 compartments were solely for ladies. So here I have set up my thing. Now we go on to the thing, the actual problem. So the problem would be I used to go to the, say, by train, but then in spite of these 12 compartments, I used to not get place to sit. I had to adjust. So that is my problem now. So that is your part two. First is setting. Second is you state the problem in your story. Third is you come to climax. That till now, I was adjusting somehow by either sitting in whatever place I got. I used to fall off, or I had to come forward and sit so that the other people could sit. That was the climax. Now there has to be a resolution. There has to be a solution to this problem. So that will be your fourth part, which is the resolution. So what I decided was that I would stand near the door. At least that way I will not get place to sit, but then at least I would have air for ventilation. The wind would blow beautifully on my face, and I could enjoy the scenery that was running past my eyes when I stood at the door of the, of course, safely, but at the door of the local train. So here this is my personal story, which I have put up in different parts. So that way, what happens is you are being specific, you are being clear with what message you want to convey, and so here the message that I want to convey is you have to find alternatives always. You cannot crib about the problem that you have. Instead, what you do is you find alternatives. That is the message that I want to pass, which I hope that I have. I have not clearly told the story, but then you tell your story based on which you have the setting, which is the beginning. Then you have the day-to-day things. Then you have the climax. So day-to-day things will include the problem, the main problem that was there, which you want to speak about. Then there will be the climax where the problem went to the highest limit. That will be your number 3. Number 4 would be the resolution. That how did you find a solution to that problem? So that would be the strategy for any story that you want to say.
Thank you, ma'am, for answering this question. And our next question is what considerations guide your decisions when selecting fonts, colors, and image for your presentations?
Okay, very good question. Very nice question. So first, let me go to images first. We feel like we want to put a lot of things on the slides, lots of things on the slides, because this is also related. That is also related to the topic. That is also related. That is how my audience will understand better. Okay, so That is something that we have to consciously control ourselves from doing. Now, if you must have observed all my slides, there is minimum and maximum of one image only. Okay. Now, next we come to the color. Color, now if you see, yes, I had purposefully put one or two slides which had bright slide colors just to tell you the difference. That, for example, the slide that we are on right now has a very subtle, very calm color. It does not hit your eyes. But the bright yellow that I had in one of the slides, it hit your eyes, right? So that did not make you comfortable. You weren't very comfortable reading the points on those slides. So the idea was that the colors should not be that bright. They have to be subtle. They have to be calm so that you can read what is written on the slides. And what was the third thing? Color, font, and images.
Image, ma'am.
Font, yes. Image I already spoke about. Font, yes. So in the pretext of using unique features and different fonts, we cannot just use any fonts, because then the audience has to understand what you've written, what you've put up on the slide. Excuse me. They have to understand what you have put up on the slide. So for that, we have to come to a deal, whereby we somewhat like the font, but then it has to be legible, it has to be readable by the audience. So that is my answer.
Thank you, ma'am, for answering this question. And our next question is, how do you handle technical challenges or glitches during a presentation to maintain a seamless flow?
Okay, so the main thing here is practice. So once you make the presentation, you have to practice. There is a 7 times rule that I have. I also heard this somewhere in some YouTube video only, but it worked for me. There is a 7 times rule that we have. Once you have the content ready, so this is actually for speeches, but I use that for presentations also. Once you have the content ready, you read through the presentation one time, okay? So you are looking at the content and you're reading. That is the first time, okay? The second time, you are going through the slides, but then you are able to speak a little more apart from what is already there in the slide. The third time, you are even more confident and adding even more content than what is there on the slides, to a point where slightly you already know in your head what the next slide is going to be. Fourth time, when you are doing the presentation, you are so confident that you don't need the slide. So you give it over to somebody else for them to handle the slide. Fifth, you must have seen TEDx speakers, TEDx or Josh Talks speakers in the background. They are not looking behind when the slides are changing, but they have a remote in their hand. So they know. They have timed themselves so well. They are so particular about their full stops and their commas that they know that after this is the slide that is coming. They have to know, rather. Sixth and the seventh time. At this point, even if there are no slides, there is no electricity, there is no form of way to get the slides, to get the presentation, they will still be able to hold a 1 hour session without those slides. So this is the 7 times rule. You practice 7 times before the actual present. So 8th time is the time that you are actually presenting. So it is the 7 times rule that you practice always. That helps.
Thank you, ma'am, for answering all these questions. That was a very good piece of advice given to us. Thank you all for attending today's webinar. And if you have any additional questions, you can contact us by email or telephone. We are happy to provide additional support to you. Please follow us on our social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel for new learning.